This is the Glass Bottom Boat Tour. Lasts about 30 minutes. That was a peacock. Margaret isn't supposed to pick the posies. That's just a sign advertising the dinosaurs alive. I'm quite sure they aren't, but they say they're animated.
Double monkey that agreed the boat as we cruise on by. Looks like Bubba. Let's see. Here, can I have that's Bubba. Hey, Bubba, how you doing there, buddy? Yeah, look out. Checking out the boat. Hey, what's happening, buddy? Right. Heads up, ready? Good catch, buddy. Yeah, ain't got something to snack on now. They're smart. But here on the right side, we see scimitar aurochs. They have a long, slender point that looks like a scimitar little ray. Great heron on the left, walking through the bushes. We'll probably see quite a few of these Florida birds as we travel downstream. We see a lot of rocks in the display on the right. This was brought in for the sheep. They will hide their babies in the crevices to keep them out of hot summer heat and torrential rainstorms. This is coquina. Now look at the building. You see a Barbary sheep looking at you as we cruise by. We got about 6 of them out here. Hey gang, we'll be back. Here's the other one. They're all hiding behind them rock piles. Coquina and lime rock, you can build out of such material. As a matter of fact, the Spanish built the oldest fort in the United States at St. Augustine. That's the oldest town in the U.S., by the way. And if you've never been there and you're visiting Florida, don't pass up St. Augustine. It's a beautiful historical town, very much part of Florida. Anybody ever been there? Isn't that a nice place? Definitely want to visit. And on our lap, 3 months old, a new addition to the family. These are the smallest members of the ape family.
There it is.
And right off the right-hand side, like, hanging up to 9 feet tall, 350 pounds in weight. Can you imagine having a bird that big for Thanksgiving? You can use that turkey year after year, big drumsticks. Ride them home from the grocery store and press the neighbors, honey, I got the bird. Correct when he said these were the prettiest of the waterfowl family. You see them with wildlife posters, calendars, U.S. postage stamps nationwide. Peacocks in the background. 12-foot wingspan behind them. African crown cranes. Look at the colors. They are beautiful. They have a bottle brush hairdo. Behind them are the rheas, the third largest non-flying bird of the world from South America. There's one on the beach up ahead. And llamas. They're from the South Americas. You can find them on warm farms, carrying packages throughout the mountains for farmers and such. Do be careful around llamas though, gang. They can spit accurately up to 15 feet. Peacock got the tail feathers up, and they're turning the wrong way. Typical of a peacock. Here we go. There we go. Don't turn back around. Oh, look at that. Way up ahead, you see some giraffes. Look at the little baby giraffe on the backside of the feeder. That's Kavu. He's about 4 months old now. Yeah, look at him. He's cute as a butt. He was born 150 pounds of birth, over 5 feet tall. What a little baby. Mama says no more. We also have giraffes on the right, island on the left-hand side. You can see them in the background. Grand Orpachardi zebra from the Serengeti Plains of Africa, and they're found north of the Great Zambezi River. There they are watching the boat. Hey, buddy. They all look alike with them stripes, and you wonder, how do you tell the male from the female? They all look identical. Look carefully at them as we cruise by. You'll notice the males have the black stripe, females have the white ones. Can you tell? Look carefully. Hey, Zeb. Heads up, buddy. There it is. Look out. Now we're going to turn the boat around right here and head on back upstream, one of our turning points in the trip. Take a look at these trees on the right side. They are all wrapped with wire. That's to keep the giraffes from chewing the bark right off the tree. The constant value on it, like oak and cypress, the best, and they're the 2 oldest growing trees in the state of giraffes are worse than termites. Louisville fairs throughout the world, work farms included. One thing you won't train a zebra how to do, and that's horseback ride. Forget it. Might have seen the movie Sheena, the girl Tarzan romping around in Africa on the back of that zebra throughout the film. You wonder how they trained that one? They painted a statement's true. Hey, big giraffe. Everybody's waiting for the Meals on Wheels truck from Maryland to the gate. They get door-to-door services. Well, don't put them down. There are your llamas, new fad in the United States and Canada, folks. People are buying them up like hotcakes. You can pay a price of $100 to $100,000 for a llama. You can find them in Canada, full of snow sleds around painted firewood. Kids ride on them like ponies. Ohio and Arkansas, they train llamas how to herd sheep. Some folks buy them just to have. You take a llama in the backyard, they'll feed the grass mud for you, and they'll spit on the neighbors. I don't think we'll see too many gators out today. They'll probably be in the water where it's nice and warm. These wood ducks aren't much in the water. Everywhere they sit is a beautiful photograph. And the ostriches along the back fence line, super chickens. They get up to 9 feet tall, 350 pounds, lay an egg 5 pounds in weight. The egg takes 40 to 47 days to incubate and hatch. Babes are a little bit smaller, or chicks a little bit smaller than a baby rooster. Look at the size they get in a year. You can eat the ostrich egg. Some people say it is quite a tasty dish. You can actually feed a family of 6 on 1 egg, scramble it, get up to 2.5 frying pans worth. I never ate one. They say that ostrich meat does taste like roast beef. And there go the Wahita Gibbons. There goes Dad on a daily workout up on the gymnasium. Mom and Dad have been on the island going on 10 years now. They're out of Chicago, Lincoln Park Zoo in Illinois. They like it down here, too. They got waterfront property, condo, gazebo, sun deck, gymnasium, what more can you ask for? There's Mom, baby right behind. Turn around, Mom. Heads up, Mom. Here's Banana. What is it? Look at Dad. Go, Dad, go. Boy, what a swanger. Man, see one of them on the clothesline in the backyard. Honey, did you get a new shirt? Here you go, Dad. Up and over. Yahoo. He's really impressed. Just hanging around. Come on down. It's side of the boat. Well, hey, Monkey. How you doing, Martha? What's happening? Ready? Good. Oh, you missed it. Oh, Daryl, you gonna get that? Look at that belly on you, Red. Man, you need to do some sit-ups. Heads up, Red. Look out. Quick, hurry. Here's the other Daryl. There you go, Daryl. There's Junior. Hey, oh, that's it. Break your neck, buddy. Walk, Munch. Here. Now the carry. You can see better. Good for your eyes. Look at him go. Hey, wait. Here you go. Good, okay. Ready? Look out. Right there, buddy. Thank you. No problem. You gotta be time to see the park, gang. See everything there is to see. Even the little things count. You visit reptile.
This little animal here is from China. We can't even pronounce the name. I asked Margaret, she says Chinese something, so we'll just call them something. A couple of parrots up there grooming each other. To get the parrot to talk.
Hello. Hello. What are you going to say? Hello. Huh? Huh?
He's got a better whistler than I have.
Meow. 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 Meow.
bigger eyes. That thing's full of alligators.
Why is it fun?
There's a fish in that tube. There's a fish out in that tube.
Shannon, you know what's over? Look at all this motion. Body. Now, oftentimes when they're sunning, we'll see them with their mouth wide open, and the reason for that is to help cool off, and they do not have perspiration glands like you or I do, so leaving their mouth open exposes more skin or surface area to the outside air and helps them burn off excess heat. They also get a lot of bacteria buildup in their mouth, and the ultraviolet rays in the sunshine can get that bacteria to help kill it off. And it's probably going to surprise you all to find out that when they're this young, they eat a lot of insects, and of course leaving their mouth open works like a lot like a Venus flytrap, and anything that flies in usually doesn't make it out alive. Now we know that alligators get to be pretty good size. As a matter of fact, the modern day record is found in the state of Louisiana at 19 feet 2 inches long. And here in Florida, our record is not quite as big. It's only 17 feet, and it was found in the St. Johns River just a few miles east of us here. As a matter of fact, the Silver River behind me runs right into the St. Johns eventually. Now, when they're young, or this size here, they're going to grow very fast, about 1 foot per year for the first 6 to 7 years of their life. At that point, they basically reached physical maturity, and their growth rate does slow down significantly, but they will keep gaining size every year of their life. And it's really not that uncommon for us to find an 8 to 10 foot alligator out in the wild. Now, some of you have probably even heard that a 10-foot alligator can actually raise itself up on all 4 legs like this on dry land and outrun a full-grown man. I'd just like to add, you'd be surprised how fast a grown man can run with a 10-foot gator behind him. Now, according to legend, about 200 years ago, the Seminole Indians were apparently the first group of people to discover that you could put an alligator to sleep by turning him upside down and rubbing his belly. I often wondered how many Seminole Indians did they go through before they perfected the technique. Now, I'm not exactly sure that this is the same music that the Seminoles use, but it does work for us. Actually, what's going on here is very scientific. The alligator's brain is a little bit smaller than his brain cavity, so when we turn him upside down in a somewhat unnatural position, his brain is going to very slightly shift position, and when it does so, well, as you can see what happens here. We haven't really put him to sleep. Just the top of that brain has touched the top of his skull, and we've just kind of turned a little light switch off between his brain and the rest of his body. Have your belly rubbed, sir? Well, as you can see with the alligator, we don't need to rub his belly to put him to sleep. And that's just a lot of showmanship, and it is designed to make you, the audience, think that I'm putting him to sleep, but maybe like our friend up here, he can do it all himself. Now, even left upside down like this, he would wake up on his own in just a minute or two, but I'm going to turn him right side up because I do have something I want to show you. By the way, don't you wish it was this easy to put kids to sleep? Now you can see how quickly they wake up. Same sweet attitude he had when I grabbed him out of the water.
Now, if you've ever watched the Tarzan movie or any documentaries on crocodiles or alligators, you probably noticed that they have the ability to sneak up on their prey and keep most of their body hidden. In fact, you can see this crocodile right there is a good example of it. Excuse me, right there at the lip. You can see that he's in some fairly shallow water, and he just has his eyes and his nose above the water. He can even submerge just a little bit more and still see and breathe. Now, these eyes stick up like a periscope on a submarine, and that's a very good advantage to an animal that likes to sneak up on animals at the shoreline. And when he catches them, he wants to drag them down into the water and drown them. And that's a very violent struggle, as you might well imagine. And anything that has claws, talons, horns, or antlers, or anything of that nature, with these eyes sticking up like this in a very violent struggle, the alligator's in a very poor position, or actually a very good position, to get his eyes blinded or damaged. And if this happened, he would obviously probably starve to death because he would not be an effective predator because he couldn't see well enough to hunt effectively. So over the years, over generations, the alligator, as well as crocodiles, have adapted this ability to sink their eyes down into these two bony sockets, and they have heavy pads, or the skin on the top of their eyes is extremely thick, and this protects their eyes from damage in that area. To kill their prey is to throw coils of their body around the rib cage of that animal, and they keep tightening those coils tighter and tighter until eventually the animal can no longer breathe. Now, some other interesting things that we hear about reptiles over here, in particular snakes, and I'm sure some of you have heard at least one or two of these. Snakes are slimy. Everybody believes snakes are slimy? Well, wrong answer. Actually, snakes are not slimy, and the reason for that is they do not have perspiration glands, just like crocodiles, alligators, and other reptiles, and they're really not capable of secreting any type of moisture, and almost without exception, they're very cool and dry to the touch. And ma'am, you're looking at me like, yeah, you can say what you want, but I don't believe it. Now, some other things we hear, people say that they think only venomous snakes have teeth, and more correctly, generally speaking, only venomous snakes have fangs, while almost all other types of snakes have teeth, and plenty of them. Sometimes as many as 6 rows of teeth, 4 on the top of their mouth and 2 on the bottom. Well, it's been a great audience. I hope you had some fun, and thanks for coming to see us here at Silver Spring. Thanks, John.
First, and I should get us in Great Mammoth Spring, the world's largest artesian spring. This incredibly beautiful 55 feet deep canyon contains a massive cave beneath that ledge we just passed over. Now that cave is the main source of this beautiful and mysterious river. Mammoth Spring alone produces over 515 million gallons of water a day. That is enough water to supply New York City. This water is 99.8% pure and 72 degrees year-round. And it has been designated as Florida's national landmark. And that simply means that it will be protected for give you a much closer look when we come back. There he is yet? Right directly in front of the boat. There's an alligator.
Alligator right out there.
You see its back right there?
Right there, Mom.
Oh, yeah, sure is.
I'll get there a little closer. Let's swing around, you can get a better picture.
See the alligator?
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Right there, right there, pretty good. Exactly where you're
Oh, yeah.
like a snake. Is that alligator right there?
Right after that lid. See that?
Yeah.
Scrub looking line?
Right there, I see him.
Right there beside it. See right there?
Ring of the Stars. Those statues you see down there were left over from the James Bond movie, Lowbreaker.
There statues there?
It was also the home of the creatures in the Black
See
Lagoon.
those two statues right there?
Some people say he's still down there. Other people say he's driving the boat.
They shot a bunch of movies. All Tarzan movies used to be done here. That's why all the monkeys back
But it
there.
was first seen on film
Monkeys
way
were
back
natural,
in
and they used to have a bunch of them. Matter of fact, they got rid of them. They caught a bunch of them stuff not too long ago. But that's when the monkeys started coming from the port of the Tarzan movies and stuff. They just started breeding them around.
Stars like Lloyd Bridges, Sean Connery,
Long way down
Jackie
right there.
Gleason,
Looks like it.
Lee Majors,
How deep you can see how deep that hole was on the plane.
me. It's true. Almost every day somebody Cam corners me. Who can tell me who Johnny Weissman was? Johnny Weissman.
Tarzan.
Flakes down there? Those are not snowflakes. Those are tiny pieces of limestone, together with the shells of freshwater snails. And they're being bounced about by the incredible pressures of the water. And the limestone and the shell are linked in an endless dance. And it's a dance that's been going on non-stop, day in and day out, for thousands of years. It gives you a sense of the timelessness
Big old shells.
and the mysteries
Yeah,
of
they
nature.
had one big one. Did you see it? Right up there? Not hard to see. A lot of water coming out of this old 55 million gallons a day.
Inseparable. We call them the odd couple. This grass you see growing just beneath the boat is called eel grass. E-E-L, eel grass. It grows throughout the river. It grows from 3 to 5 feet in height, but for some strange reason, it never grows above the surface of the water. The Indians used to cut it off, dry it out of the banks, and use it to make watertight baskets. What do you think? Anybody want to taste it? Big sugar? I don't know. There's something about eels and algae that are not altogether appetizing.
But don't knock it unless you try.
Can't do that, son.
The larger fish you see that are gray in color, those are called striped mullet. Striped mullet is nothing unusual because they can adapt to both fresh and salt water. Believe it or not, striped mullet have gizzards. I don't know what they do with them. Yeah.
Might catch me good. So you have to be bothered with it.
Sounds like that. It doesn't rock that to me.
Make sure you go on that ride if you haven't already. That old boat is called a mysterious artifact because nobody knows how or when that old boat got to be down there. However, we do know that it can have been the early Indians because of the brass fittings you see there on the bow. They think it might have something to do with the early Spanish settlers who settled in this area in the 1500s. And that's why we call this spring the Spanish Spring. Should be a bunch of baby turtles down there somewhere.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows how I got here. Nobody knows. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, Ross Allen started out here in like 1920 or something like that. Yeah, but Ross Allen started messing around here around 1920.
Spanish moss. But guess what? It's not. It's not Spanish and it's not moss. It's an air plant, and they get their nutrients from right out of the air. And some mad scientist has made that moss a member of the pineapple
Yeah, so
family.
that little different things like the ground coral.
I don't see even a remote resemblance between that moss and a pineapple. However, they say that scientists and boat captains are never wrong. What they say. Now then, I just showed you the 7 main springs that make up the source of the beautiful Silver River. There are hundreds and hundreds of other much smaller springs that exist throughout the length of this river. This river runs downstream for 8 to 9 nautical miles. At that point, it flows into what we call the Ocklawaha River. It makes up 50% of the volume of water. To Osceola, this river was the holiest and most sacred of places. And he was willing to die. That cave you'll see down there is 65 feet wide, 55 feet deep, and 12 feet high.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
550 million gallons of crystal clear, life-giving water flows from that cave every single day. That is enough water to provide drinking water for half the population of the world every 24 hours.
That's it.
It is also enough water to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool in 2 minutes flat.
It's amazing how much water comes out of that thing, but you know, you don't really see any disturbance much. Everything just lays down there still, you know. A lot of snail shells down there.
Yes, Silver Springs truly is a very, very special place. And just like the rest of nature, things are constantly changing. There are changes in the wildlife, you see, both above and below the surface of the waters. And there are changes in the way the sun lights up the beauty of these springs. No matter what time of the day I come out here, obviously the sun is coming from a different angle, and it lights up and illuminates yet another dimension to these beautiful springs. And that's why this trip has been almost as new. I hope you're having a wonderful day here at Silver Springs, and that you'll come back here again and ride these incredible waters with me, Captain Tom. Thank you very much.
Branch in the water right off the right front of the boat. It's known as a cormorant. Cormorants are fishermen along the river, just like the anhinga we saw back under the water before. They dive down under the river and out swim little fish like river sunnies. Spear them with their pointed bill, bring them back up to the surface, knock them off, and have them for a meal. It takes the cormorant about a half an hour to 45 minutes to dry their wings off. They are one of few birds in the world that do not have oil glands on their feathers like most birds do. Wherever you see turtles that actually climb trees. Of course, it does help to have the tree laying in the water. It makes it a lot easier for them to climb. Where it makes a left turn, travels north to Palatka, empties into the St. Johns River, or it travels north again to Jacksonville, and empties into... Later on, we come back upriver. I'll take us right through the area. We'll see some of the larger gar. Sitting along the left-hand side of that wooden dock, and when I hit land, there will be a slight bump.
He was only a 3-week-old downy chicken nest. We got these birds through our rehab program. Got them down here in the habitat I think they picked for themselves because we wanted to put them in the woods area because this is where they stay. That's why you don't hardly ever get a chance to see them. They are the most common hawk that we have in the wild, along with the cousin, the red-tailed hawk. But you never get a chance to see them. You can see they're pretty well camouflaged. But they are the most vocal of all of our hawks. If they or some of the wild ones start squawking, I'll draw your attention to it because I know it's a sound that you've heard many, many times before, no matter what part of the country you're from. The chief over there was donated to us by a local veterinarian here in Ocala, and he suggested we might want to put it in a cage and put it up right by the front gate where y'all can take a look at it. Well, we don't display our animals in cages down here. We want to make sure that they're out where you can take a look at them. We just don't like our animals in cages. Look around, you'll see no cages. Besides that, having sheep down here, we worked with him, we got him flying. He flies about 50 feet every day. I know that's not much, not very impressive for a bird of prey, but I tell you what, it beats the heck out of being stuck in a cage up there with all them old yakking parrots. Don't you agree? If you look up on the porch, you'll see 2 skunks. One on the left is Odie Cologne. One on the right is his girlfriend, Uday Toilette. Now, they were purchased in pet stores. You can buy them, and tell you what, when you get one, you're going to be told that they're descented. Now, you can remove the amyl gland or the spray gland, but a skunk's a member of the weasel family. It's a mustelid animal, and it has musk glands located on its front legs and also on its cheeks, and they give off a musky, stinky odor. Then again, I know a lot of human beings in that same weasel family, don't you? Y'all can't see her from over there, but we have a bald eagle sitting right there on the ground. That's Liberty. Liberty is was found out in the woods, hanging from a tree with monofilament line wrapped around her feet. Like lost both feet. We can't release her back to the wild because she has no gripping power anymore. One foot is just about paralyzed, and the other one, by favoring that left foot, her right foot now has gotten real bad. So we've had her down here for this is the second day, and she's just going to have to find a place. We built that perch for her, and she gets up on it from time to time, and she's just got to feel her way out. She's trying to get used to being out here because she's been in that rehab program for 2 years. So she hasn't been out in the woods like this since then, and she's just kind of bewildered about what's all going on around her. Every time the bear moves, she wants to jump around, and she has a few problems. We're just trying to take care of her. We wanted y'all to see what the bald eagle looks like. We like to lost our bald eagles at one time, if you remember. They're not a very pretty bird, but they are one of the most important birds that we have in the wild, and the fact that they take care of those dead diseases.
Another American egret over there in the water lettuce on your right side. You're both very bony and muddy inside, and the alligator gar has small, razor-sharp teeth and their long pointed noses. I'm going to string the boat out and take it through an area just wide enough for us to get through. Takes a chance to feed the raccoons. We give them apples, oranges, carrots, bananas, and sweet potatoes. Unfortunately, I'm not the designated feeder today. Sorry, guys.
Air, buddy.
Now this here is a field of sugar cane that has just been planted and it's growed up again. It's not planted from seed. It is planted from another stalk. Lay the stalk down, it runs shoots down, roots down, and shoots up. There's where the roots are going out of this stalk. Margaret is holding it up here in the air. And the roots go down. Then over on the top of the root here, on the top of the root, she can't reach it. Her arms are so short.
Up here?
Right where her finger is there now is where the stalks of new cane will come out. There's got the shoot above. Looks like they come out from down below and then turn and come up, and then roots continue to go down into the ground. Cane like this, I don't know when this was planted, of course, but it takes 12 to 14 months for it to become ready to be harvested. And they have to replant them every 4 or 5 years. When it grows up to the height of that out there, then it's ready to be cut. Before it's cut, it is burnt. We've seen a couple of fires, they burn all the way around, maybe 40, 60 acres at a time, and they all torch it on all sides, and it burns very fast. Just enough to take the dry leaves off from it, and then they go out and hand cut it. And they also have machines now that's going out and cutting it, just because our government has got their nose into it and figured that they are treating the workers bad, not giving them real nice facilities and pay them high wages. They pay them real good wages compared to where they come from. And if a person wading out in that black burnt cane, it is very hard to keep the quarters that they live in spick and span as the government thinks it should be. So therefore they're going to lose their jobs thanks to our government, and machines will do the work. This field here has already been harvested. Off to the distance there you'll see some machinery, and that is a loader. After the wagons cut it and bring it in, it's dumped into that loader, and that loader either loads it in big trucks and is hauled to a sugar mill where they make the sugar, or into a train and it is taken to the sugar mill. That in the far off distance is a sugar mill. I don't know how close we'll be able to get to it. That is more steam that you see going up than it is smoke. Well, this here is an orange grove in Central Florida. Margaret was supposed to get in the picture, but there she comes. She got it. Her and Pup finally made it. As you see, these orange trees have oranges on them yet. This here is the same tree I've taken from back there far, and look at the blossom. That little blossom will probably be an orange next year if I come back down here. These orange trees have produced oranges, and now they are blooming again, and the oranges haven't been all picked. They said they'd be picked within a few days. Margaret has quite a variety here. She has a bunch of medium-sized green ones, some little bitty green ones on the far left, and then up above she's holding up there a ripe orange. That's a bunch of grapefruit. Table's full. The lady is camera shy, she run away. Got around behind.
Yeah, green light and it says record up there.
A little blue sky. This here orchard here was hit pretty hard by a freeze about 3 years ago, and it's not going to make it back. You'll see some green in there where it is growing from the root, but it isn't going to be profitable again, so they'll clear it all out and replant it. There's many a thousand of acres of oranges, just exactly like these fields that we just showing you here, down through Florida, that was killed out about 3 years ago.
And I'd like to welcome you to the SeaWorld Discovery Center. This facility was specially designed to take you behind the scenes and show you some of the wonders of SeaWorld. Now, most of our guests think of SeaWorld as aquariums, great shows, and of course, Shamu. But not many are aware that SeaWorld is also involved with research, conservation, and education. Every day we're learning more and more, and we're making new and exciting discoveries, and not just here in Orlando. We also have sister parks that are located in San Diego, California, in Aurora, Ohio, near Cleveland, and our newest park located in San Antonio, Texas. Working side by side, the SeaWorld family of parks join with other research organizations in helping to explore this new frontier. Many scientists are working together to help unlock the secrets of the seas. And joining us this morning on location at Shamu Stadium is Dan Blasco, Director of Animal Training. In the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Cape Canaveral is Frank Maroux, General Curator of SeaWorld Florida. And on special assignment, working with SeaWorld and the National Geographic Society in the Pacific Ocean, is world-renowned shark expert, Dr. Eugenie Clark. Dr. Clark is a full professor in the Department of Zoology at the University of Maryland. Dr. Clark, can you tell us where you are right now?
We're out here in the Pacific Ocean, 60 miles from Monterey, California. And this is the Atlantis II, the mothership of this marvelous submersible, the Alvin. Right below us is more than 11,000 feet of water. And we're going down there in this marvelous submersible.
Okay, what exactly is your involvement there?
Well, we're studying deep sea fishes. This is a team of scientists studying the geology and the ecology of the deep sea, and I'm particularly interested in the big bony fishes and the sharks.
Dr. Clark, who's involved in making this particular trip possible?
the National Geographic Society, and SeaWorld.
What else can SeaWorld do to help further this field of exploration?
By showing the footage that we're taking down here, footage that's never been seen before, you can show the SeaWorld guests a whole world of the deep sea for the first time. Animals that have only been known from preserved specimens. You can increase their understanding of the deep sea and their awareness and interest in this marvelous new frontier.
Should SeaWorld continue this type of research and exploration in the future? Blue whale couldn't get away because 5 or 6 killer whales would grab its tail fluke so it couldn't die. Milton Shedd, one of the founders of SeaWorld, recounts his feelings after having witnessed this incredible event.
During my 50 years experience on the various oceans of the world, I've never seen anything as exciting, as moving as this killer whale attack. I suppose in one sense it was a dramatization of the magnificence and yet cruelty of life in the sea. And yet perhaps it's not fair to speak of it in terms of cruelty, for in the oceans, really nothing dies of old age.
All of this Since then, we've had 2 other successful baby killer whale births here in Orlando, another in San Diego, and one in San Antonio. And just recently, baby killer whale number 6 was born in San Diego, California. At birth, that baby weighed 300 pounds and measured 6 feet in length. All of these births have greatly helped us to increase our...
They're creepy looking, aren't they?
On the way, fish drift to the bottom of the ocean. All Sawfish has to do is swim back around and eat his dinner. Now getting back to the sharks, the bull shark has a muscular body and a blunt, rounded snout. There's a bull shark swimming to the right there in the right-hand panel. Bull sharks rank among the most aggressive types of sharks. They can be found in the oceans and also in fresh water. Bull sharks have been seen 80 miles up the Mississippi River. They've also been spotted in rivers and canals right here in Florida. One of the more unusual sharks you'll find in the aquarium is the nurse shark. Nurse sharks look like overgrown catfish. They have muscles that pump water over their gills, so they don't have to swim all the time to survive. Look for some of our nurse sharks resting on the bottom of the aquarium as you travel through the viewing tunnel. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I've helped you to identify our sharks. Now, in just a moment, you'll get a closer look at them as you travel through their world.
What's this thing down here? Is that for rest?
Look at those teeth, bro. Look at
Look at the teeth on the shark up there.
There's a little tiny fish on the bottom. Look at that fish.
I'm just shouting at the shorts.